and welcome to this live streaming. I'm Dr. Michelle Petacola, and this is my guest, Yvonne A. Jones, and I'm here to present her and share the amazing person that she is, both to her people and to my people. So I hope you're watching. I want to tell you a little bit about her. I met her at a networking event, and we have been trading our knowledge and our expertise and sharing each other to our communities. And I just love networking because it's really a wonderful opportunity to meet wonderful people like Yvonne. Yvonne is a personal business coach. I love that idea of personal business coach. We're going to have to ask about that more. And she's a marketing strategist, a best-selling author, and an international speaker. She's the founder of My Success Circle Marketing, which is an umbrella company. We love umbrella companies for various businesses, including small business consulting, coaching and mentoring, legal and identity theft protection. Yvonne specializes in working with highly motivated female entrepreneurs, coaches, consultants, and small business owners 50 and wiser. So she's working with a specific group of people, 50 and wiser, which is getting to be a bigger and bigger group all the time. And she teaches them how to grow their business with confidence by building strong relationships with their clients and customers. This allows them to create a greater impact, increase their income, and have fun in their business. She has been mentioned in Huffington Post as one of the top 100 most social customer service pros, and on Twitter to follow, and GetApp.com as one of the top 15 most influential customer service experts on Twitter. So I want to welcome Yvonne. Thank you for joining me. And I want to begin by asking you, how did you get into this business and how long have you been in your business?
Thank you so much for the opportunity to be interviewed by you, Dr. Michelle. And that's a great question, and it goes a way back. And just to share a little bit of my story and my love for the whole customer process, was 6 weeks after graduating from high school. I was employed by the largest commercial bank in my home country, Jamaica, in the foreign exchange department. At that time, I'll tell you, I am now, I guess, what you call an ambivert. I have well-developed extrovert qualities. However, by nature, I'm an introvert. And for me, in the foreign exchange department, I was employed as a clerk typist. And for me, I viewed it as an interruption when I had to go to the counter to speak to people and find out what their needs were. And then 3 months after I had been employed, several of us were sent on a customer service training. And I fell in love. At 16 years old, I fell in love with customer service. Because once I got back to the bank, and I recognized how it made people feel. Imagine someone is walking into the bank. This is not their usual bank. This is a main branch, huge columns, vaulted ceilings. Really, they felt overwhelmed. You could see it. And they walk in and they're looking around. And you go up to the counter, which is what I did. I was now trained to do. And say, good morning, how are you? Or good afternoon, how may I help you? And suddenly, you would see like the uncertainty, the doubt, and so where they were here, their posture changed because someone had acknowledged them. Someone made them feel comfortable, made them feel important, and that stuck with me all these years. I recognized how much it changed the person, and because of that, it changed me. Because I was never shy, but I didn't want to talk unless I had to talk. So it made me stop focusing on myself and focus on the customer. And that experience translated to the fact that at 18, I was promoted to the manager secretary for a smaller branch. And then when I switched to another international company, that experience, that training served me very well, especially when I got into human resources and dealt with internal and external customers. So my love for the whole process to do with customers started with the basic foundational training in customer service. But over the years, I've discovered that customization, but especially today, when our customers are so tech savvy and they have so much information at their fingertips, we have to create an experience for them. It's important that we make it a memorable experience so that we can keep our customers, because we want to keep them happy, and we just don't want them to be customers or clients. We actually want them to be converted into becoming advocates for our business. So it's a transitional period, but it starts with customer service.
It's so true. And isn't it the case that in modern times, it seems more and more like companies are no longer caring about their customers. They feel like, well, I don't know, like big AT&T or one of these large companies, it's like they don't feel like they need to worry about customer service, that they make the customers do all the work. And the idea of us focusing on customers and treating them well is now a whole new idea again. So I just...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. You're so right. It's like a resurgence of their large corporations coming to recognize and appreciate that, wait a minute, the customer now has the buying power. Because as I like to say, I like to mention the fact that our customers do not have to get dressed to leave us and go to the competition. They can do it in their pajamas, in their nightgowns, in their bedrooms, wherever they are, because they have access at their fingertips. Just with the click of a mouse, we can lose our customer to our competition. So large corporations have to become more involved.
They have to. And I think that more and more, as new companies are coming in and focusing on the customer, that becomes a selling point. I mean, it's such an experience when you call up a company and instead of getting a lot of these, artificial voices sending you here and there in the next place, that you actually get a person who listens to you and wants to help you out. That's huge. It makes a huge difference in the way in which you experience the business that you're working with. So,
absolutely.
So I'm curious, how do you work with your people, and why do you work with people who are over 50?
Okay, that's two different things, but I'll just...
Yes, sorry. It was like I caught that and I was like, oh, that's even more interesting. So choose whichever one you want first, and then we'll ask the second one. Sure. Yes, how do you help people become better with their customers? What do you teach them?
Okay. I love this statement that Peter Shankman made in his book, Customer Service, New Rules for a Social Media World. And he said that your goal is to sell, but you want to do it in such a way that you make your customers feel like rock stars from the second they find you and the rest of their lives. So our customers, or potential customers, or prospects, or leads, they find us different places, right? So social media is one place where people find us. And then you want to make sure your brand is involved with whatever your connection, your actions on social media, wherever you are online. It's creating a perception of you, what you say, what you do, how you show up. That's creating a perception. And so we have to be careful about we are portraying who we really want to be, because that's what personal branding is. Jeff Bezos says that is what people say about you when you're not in the room. I like to say it's the perception that others have of you. So what kind of perception are you creating when you connect with people online? And then they may come to your website. But this is what Peter Shankman says. Regardless of where they connect with you, you want to make them feel like rock stars. So you look at your website. Is it friendly? Is it easy to navigate? Does your website answer questions for your potential customers so they understand your service? If you are offering a service that's a little bit complicated or may have different facets to it, are you answering questions? Do you have an FAQ on your website that helps people, that they don't have to call you, they don't have to email you, but answer some basic questions for them? Because the point about it is you want to make it easy for people to connect with you. And so it takes me to the other part of your question. Why did I choose to work with women 50 and wiser? That is a great question. Number one, I am one, but the other part is that I don't only work with women. However, what I found after doing an analysis, even before I formally called myself a coach, when I was mentoring, and I used to prefer the term mentoring, and I found that the people who gravitated to me were women my age or my age group, or maybe a little younger, say in their 40s. But I recognized also in talking with so many women who are 50 and older, that many of these women had kind of got this attitude like that, they had unfulfilled dreams, but they felt, oh, I'm too old to do this and I'm too old to do that. And that kind of connected with me. And I wanted to say, no, you're never too old. I walked away from corporate America at 52 and started my own business, right? Because I'd always done something in addition to working in corporate. But this time I walked away, made that decision and walked away and started my own business. So my philosophy is that we have acquired so much knowledge and hopefully a lot of wisdom along the way. And so we have a lot to share. And so many of us did what was younger. So at this point in our lives, wouldn't it make sense that if we can really do what we are passionate about, what we enjoy, that we do that? So that is kind of the reason in a nutshell why I focus on women 50 and wiser. However, as I said, I do serve other people, like men as well.
Yes. So go on.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead. You want me to continue?
Well, I noticed in your blurb that your identifier that you help people with confidence. How do you do that?
Well, again, one of the causes for lack of confidence is uncertainty. Mm-hmm. And uncertainty shows up in a lot of ways. But one of the main ways, and I know you know this as well, is when you are not confident about what you're not fully present, mindful about, and you're not fully in the know of what you want to achieve. You don't know who you are, maybe, or you don't know what you really want to do with your life. So because I'm a certified life coach and a certified business coach, what I do is we focus on personal development first. And then we move into business growth. Because what I discovered over the years is that a lot of times people knew what to do, but they were not taking the action because there was something holding them back. And your area is different from mine, but you have found this as well because I interviewed you recently. And for you, one of the things that hold people back for your clients is maybe something like grief or maybe some kind of transitioning. For me, it might be the mindset. They're not feeling they're good enough. And that could have a long history. So we work through those things. And then it empowers, those things empower women to move in the direction they want to. So in my case, what I do, regardless of what the program is, what we're working on, for me, because of my passion and seeing how much it changes businesses and changes lives, what I always do in all of my programs, I include something about client relationship, because without our clients, we don't have a business. And so the 3 points, the title of this basically was, are you ignoring critical client relationships? So may I go ahead and share one of the main points that I could touch?
Sure.
Thank you. So one of the most significant points that you want to avoid eliminating, in other words, let's turn it and make it positive. we want to make sure that we incorporate is showing our clients that we appreciate them. Two simple words, two so simple words. It's simply saying thank you. And I'm going to kind of slant this for coaches. A lot of times when I speak, I slant it for business owners in general, but for coaches, mentors, consultants, it's so very important to let your clients know that you truly appreciate them and find ways to simply say thank you. Some simple ways: writing a card, sending your clients a card for no reason. If you do birthdays, that's fine with you. You send birthday cards, send anniversary cards. I like to send an unexpected card. There's no event, there's no reason. I simply write the card and say, I was thinking of you. That tells the person that you view them more than just a dollar sign or more than just someone who helps to pay your bills. You view them as being important. Mary Kay Ash, the founder of Mary Kay Incorporated, taught her consultants that they should imagine that every woman wears an invisible sign around her neck that says, make me feel important. If we can maintain that picture in our minds, that visualization, it is significant and it will help us to keep our clients, our customers, our students, our patients in the proper perspective. They are important to us and we need to tell them. Then, any questions on that before I move on to the next point?
Well, I wanted to. Why are we getting an echo? Are you getting an echo? No. Okay. Now I've forgotten what I was going to ask you.
You said I wanted to.
Let me see if I put the headset on.
I'm not hearing an echo again, though.
Can you hear the echo now?
Mm-mm.
Oh, I still hear it. Do you have anyway, what I wanted, oh my gosh, what was I going to ask? I wanted to make the point that a lot of people who go into the coaching business, they are more concerned about how they are perceived and that they're focused on how people are perceiving them or reacting to them. And that by getting your clients to focus on their clients and what their clients need, it takes that inner concern about whether you're good enough or worthy. Remember, you were talking about some of them not feeling like they were good enough. It takes them out of that focus and focusing on their clients instead. And that is a really great action for getting out of worrying about yourself and focusing on, how can I be of service to this person? It's just a mindset that really creates a huge shift. And that's very empowering, especially when you succeed in enabling your clients to feel appreciated. So I can see that as being the special sauce of your coaching. And I also love the fact that you both provide people with the nuts and bolts of having a good business. You know, you're a business coach, but you also deal with the inner game, the life issues. So many of these coaching programs that I've taken, they're always coming up with this formula, right? This is the formula. It's going to make you a lot of money. But if you do not deal with the inner stuff, people will sabotage themselves if they haven't dealt with that. And it sounds like you are doing that. And I think that's wonderful. So go ahead and tell us the second point.
Thank you. And I want to add on to that this is why for years, as I mentioned, I didn't want to think of myself or refer to myself as a coach, because I worked with individuals mostly on the business side. And what I found is that they knew what to do, but they weren't taking action. But I didn't feel equipped at the time to help them to get over that hurdle. So it was as if I wanted, this is why I kept looking for a coaching program that would have me rounded out, where I would have that knowledge to take them from point A to point B first in their how they perceive themselves and their mindset, and then they could take action. So you meant that is a significant shift, as you said, and that's so vital. And so the second point you want to take is it kind of goes along with the first point. The first one is saying thank you. Let your clients know that you appreciate them. And another simple way is at the end of a coaching session, you genuinely say to them, I really appreciate you and I want to congratulate you or something like that, or I want to acknowledge you for XYZ. You're very specific about why, so they know it's not being just fluffy. Oh, I want to acknowledge you because you're so great. No, you tell them exactly 1 or 2 points. You share with them why you want to acknowledge them. From some of my clients is for taking, I tell them, I acknowledge you and I appreciate you for being my client and taking action. Because I'm sure you've worked with individuals who you cover lots of things, but nothing happens because they don't necessarily, whether for time or whatever, they don't take the action that you'd expect them to take. So when you work with clients who do, then you want to acknowledge them and let them know you notice and you appreciate them. Then the second step is that you want to take an interest in your clients, interest in them and in their family if they have a family. But you want to be careful you don't overstep the line. In other words, you have a line. For me, it's a line that I don't cross. I want my clients to be my friends. I do. I hear some coaches say they don't really want their clients to be their friends. I want my clients to be my friends. And I've had clients who were my friends. And one of the things I think about is when I was in corporate America and I'd started a skincare business. When my mother passed away, I was literally shocked at the cards and the checks I got from my clients, my skincare clients. They love me because I was never in a rush. I tried not to be. I would go to their home. They would tell me things about their private lives because they trusted me. Mm-hmm. And with your coaching clients, there's even a closer bond. So you want to show interest in them. You want to show interest in their family, but you want to be careful not to overstep. They put the invisible line that is there. You don't want to be intrusive is the word I would like to say. And then the third point. Any questions on that before I move to my third point?
Well, again, it depends on the kind of service you provide. In some cases, if you are working with people on psychological issues to begin with, then you actually have permission from the get-go to be more intimate with your clients. But if you're more on a business level, you might not have that. I like the way in which you straddle both sides there, that you being a life coach, you have their permission to go a little bit deeper. And that's really valuable. And it helps to build that intimacy. But you're right. If you're selling widgets, you may not... Your clients might be a little appalled if you start, going into their personal life. They might feel like that is overstepping your bounds. So it's really important to know where your boundaries are. So yes, please go to our third point. Your third point.
Okay, great. Thank you. And the third point, again, ties in with the other two. We want our clients to feel valued. That is so very important because when you create that, make them feel valued, then it builds that emotional connection. And that's something you do want to build, that emotional connection with your clients, because the truth is that until your clients or your customers, whether you have a brick and mortar store, whether you sell widgets, whether you work on emotions in a life coaching situation, it's business coaching, their bottom line, their profit and loss, until they have developed that emotional connection with you, you don't have a loyal customer. Because when you have an emotional connection with your customer, regardless of what somebody else says and how much they try to entice them away, they are not going to leave you because they believe in you and they have built that know, like, and trust with you. So they're not going to be lured away very easily by somebody who says, if it's so, which is so they're selling something and they cheaper. It's cheaper, basically, that kind of thing. or somebody comes up with something new and attracts them, try to get them to become their client, and they are connected with you because they see you as someone of value who has helped them, who you're vested in their interests, vested in their success. And one of the ways that as coaches we can be careful about this, we can get into the habit of feeling that I'm the coach, I know it, so I'm going to create a plan for you and you're going to follow. What if instead we have the idea that, yes, I'm your guide, I will help you to achieve your goals, I'm your guide, but I value you, that you also are bringing your knowledge to the table. I just may have more knowledge and I have more experience or more expertise, so I can guide you. So together, you create an action plan that your client can work on and your client can get excited about. And whether we are doing that kind of coaching with our clients or we are in a situation where we're doing something else, we get the input from our clients. We ask them for their opinion. You see, a lot of times, regardless of the niche, we are so close to our business that we can't see it all. We see one side of it. But it's so much more effective if we ask the people who are using our products or services, what can I do to make this more user-friendly? What can I do to enhance the value that you get from this? Then you listen carefully. And where you find that it is justified to take the corrective action, then you do so. And you let your clients know that, hey, I really appreciate that suggestion you made. I took action in that. And this is what we have come up with. My team and I have come up with. Do you know how valued that would make the person who made the suggestion feel? And how deeply connected they would be to you? Again, it's all about building the relationship, because relationships, as you well know, Dr. Michelle, relationships take time. They don't happen overnight. They don't happen just bam, bam, bam like that. It takes time to get to know, like, and trust the person. And once they have crossed that know bridge, the light bridge, and they're in the trust stage, they trust you, we have to continue to nourish that relationship, because there are always going to be outside factors that can undermine that relationship. So we always want to strive to keep that relationship going and not take it for granted.
So you reminded me of something else, which I also see in the kind of work that you do, and that is empowering the client. That sometimes coaches get this idea that if they're the hero, if they're the one who's giving the client all the answers, that then they'll always be needed. But when you empower the client, that's really our objective, is to make them powerful, to help them to make their own decisions. That's where they're going to get the results, is when they actually see what they need to do and identify what they need to do themselves. And you are there to affirm it and maybe tweak it, but to help them to gain those skills. We don't necessarily want our clients forever, or we come up with new programs to help them go to a next level, but we don't want to keep them stuck. We actually want to empower them. And so that's what I was hearing in this third example, was asking them for their opinions, asking them to talk about what they need, asking them for their ideas, and being a guide and helping them to put it together or to see new things about it. That is much more of a collaboration. In the work I do in Toastmasters, they talk about mentorship, but I remember you also talking about advocacy, which is not being the person who has all the answers, the guru or the commander, but actually a resource that helps bring out the gifts in your clients.
I love that what you just said. We help to bring out the gifts in the client. It's exactly. Because, it's easy to come from a superiority kind of attitude that I know it all. But no, our goal should be to, as you rightly said, to empower our clients. And we have to remember that at some point, we may be able to take our clients to here. but there may come a time when they need somebody else to take them there, right? So we can't go with the idea that, well, if I don't tell them everything, then I can keep them forever.
Yes,
that should never, ever be our attitude. Our attitude is to see how I could get them there. And if I can't help them beyond that, then I can refer them to someone who can take them where they next want to go.
Right. Absolutely. And it may mean also that you are always in action yourself as a coach, that you're developing new skills all the time, and that you're anticipating what your client might need next and being able to provide it if you can.
That is so right, because this is why, I'm always going a step higher and taking additional training. And someone might say, but you have done so much training. Why are you always doing, attending a course here? And my answer is, I want to keep better. I want to hone my skills better every day. There are new things that come out. There are changes. This whole pandemic has changed the whole marketing scene, right? My focus is on mindset and marketing. It has changed everything. There's so many things we have to address differently. We have to learn to network differently now because we can't go to live networking events. For me, that was a challenge because that was something I love to do. So now I have had to learn to network online.
Absolutely.
And there's so many changes. And so we have to empower ourselves so that we can in turn be better for our clients. So I appreciate that too.
Absolutely. So we're just about, we're at the bottom of the hour, and I wanted to say is there anything else you want to convey to our audience today? Any final words that you haven't shared yet?
What I would say to I think I've shared a lot. There are lots more ways that you can, but the final thing that I do want to say is that it's important to create a plan, create a simple plan for staying in contact with your clients, with your customers, however and even after you have stopped working with a client, or the person is no longer your customer, you can still continue to stay in touch with them. But most important is to take little steps to do little things for your clients that make them feel important, make them feel special, make them feel valued. So you continue to build that emotional connection. And I invite your listeners to reach out to me. And my email is Yvonne, YVONNE, at YvonneAJones.com. Let's have a 15-minute laser session on what is a simple strategy. Let's together create a simple follow-up plan that we can call it a follow-up plan. We can call it an audit or a customer experience audit, but it's a simple plan that you can follow to put tips on how you can stay in touch with your clients if they're not clients that you see on a regular basis, and how you can make your clients feel more special, not just as someone you meet with maybe every 2 weeks, but you make them know that you care about them and they feel that you care about them, and you're vested in their business and in their interests, and you value them as people. It's so very important to do that. So I'm happy to accommodate 5 people who want to do that in the month of April. 15 minutes we get together and create a mini plan together on how to be consistent in staying in touch with your clients.
Yvonne, I am so inspired by what you have said and shared today that I'm thinking about, I can do that more with my clients. And there are people that I worked with a long time ago, and maybe I need to reach out to them and say hi and ask them how they're doing. And thank you for sharing that. That was a really, really valuable piece of information that you've shared with our audience today. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's been my pleasure. And thank you for being a wonderful interviewer.
Oh, well, thank you very much. I enjoyed it immensely. And I'm going to go ahead, of course, and share this on all of my social media. I know this is going out to your profile because you have this wonderful format that enables you to reach many, many places simultaneously. But other people will hear this. And thank you for joining us, whether this is a recording or you are here live. And have an awesome weekend.
And before we go, I just want to say there were several persons who are watching us here who left comments. And for some reason, I didn't look over to the chat. So thank you for being here. I see Bianca, I see Miss Patricia Rogers, and there's someone else who I don't see the name, but thank you so much for being here and watching us live.
Is that LinkedIn? I just saw Pauline Daly in Facebook.
Okay, so she was on Facebook. I guess these are on LinkedIn.
LinkedIn, yes. I didn't have I couldn't do both. But I'm glad you checked on LinkedIn and kept in mind. Did anybody have any questions?
Let's see. Ms. Rogers said, no more feedback now. You are all good. Inner focus is one of the main essentials that assist in building a firm foundation. Taking action is incumbent upon the client. We can teach, learn lots of valuable information, but taking action is what allows us to become experts, and taking action also builds confidence. Confidence is right. The ingredient we all need to succeed. Yes. Thank you so much, Ms. Patricia Rogers. She was happy to have joined us, and Bianca Moreiras, she was joined us as well on LinkedIn. So thank you.
Awesome. That's great. Yvonne, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye-bye.